Hi Scorpio, this is your general tarot reading for Scorpio Sun, Moon and Ascendant rising sign for the month of March. How are you all doing, Scorpio? I know that as you leave March and enter April, there is some energy in your 12th house happening, a bit of a focus on things that can often be a little bit sad, but certainly deep psychic intuition happening for you, deep wisdom. We spoke a little about this last month, didn't we, Scorpio? Finding some real serious truths that come from a very hidden place. Wanting to spend a bit of time alone too, maybe cutting some people out as the first card comes out and falls on the floor. You want peace and quiet? I'm going to give you a couple of seconds here of me shutting up and you can have peace and quiet while I get this damn card. Seven of Swords. He just popped out there. He leapt out. So that was the energy you were experiencing, deep psychic intuition, being left alone to get back in touch with something far greater and deeper within your own psyche. I like it, and I hope you did it with that cigar and that tequila in style. What else? What else? There's also the Sun, Uranus and Mercury retrograde. Don't talk to me about Mercury retrograde. It's driving me nuts at the moment. They're in your 6th house of work life. So I know some of you are really, really trying to change up your work life, your experience in work, your day-to-day tasks. And the sun is shining on that as we leave March and enter April. So if you've been looking for a new job, the new moon on April the 15th also promises new opportunities in your work life as the Hermit comes out. New opportunities also in ways to get fitter and healthier, to take care of your health. Because as I always say to all the other signs, I think I've said it to a few of them this month, this is the vehicle that you're traveling in this world, and you gotta take care of it, baby. Because if you don't take care of it and it starts falling apart, then where can you go? So you gotta look after yourself, my love, because things have been stressful. I know that things have been stressful, but it seems for those of you who are in a relationship that you can depend very much on your partner, because Venus in the 7th house has given you a moment where you might just be falling in love all over again. Some of you who are single are just experiencing a new pleasure when it comes to finding easier relationships. Maybe the new loves that you find in April as a card falls on the floor might be a relationship that's just that much easier. You don't want the heavy dramas anymore with those heavy people. You just want something easier. Now I have to go and get the card again on the floor. I'm getting a workout here. Here's me talking about your health. It's me who's getting the workout. Okay, up and down. Okay, so this is the 8 of Pentacles. So let's keep exercising our psychic muscles here and see what else is going on. Yeah, the new moon on the 15th of April, and Mercury is going direct in around the same time, will give you all of those new opportunities in your work life, new doors opening, and maybe just cleaning up the weird communication that might have been happening in your work life, and the paperwork that might have gone missing or lost in the confusion. That'll just improve. And like I said, your health, certainly, there's a new opportunity around the 15th, 16th for your health to improve. Cards are quite leaping and jumping. They're going all over the place, but they're not actually coming out. So why not? I guess it's because you just want to listen to me, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, I'll take that as a yes. April 20th, the Sun then moves into the 7th house, joining Venus. So it's a great month for relationships. Really, another card. Really, you're making me work, Scorpio. Now, here's a beautiful card about big declarations of love. Are some of you going to be in April making big declarations of love? taking a relationship to the next level, making a relationship exclusive, moving in with somebody, doing something that involves a huge, but I love you, and I'm going to shout and tell the world, I love you. Yeah, that's that kind of energy. Sometimes they say this is Venus in Aries energy, which is all about expressing your love in a very bold and daring way, not being afraid to tell somebody exactly how much you love them. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Venus then around the 25th of April moves into your 8th house. So 2 meanings to this. The first one is that you might have to have that conversation with your partner, for those in a relationship, about shared resources. Some of you might have felt that you were knocking your head against a wall, that maybe you or the other person wasn't pulling their weight financially, or maybe they were being a bit backward about coming forward with their finances in some way. So you have to have that conversation with your partner about shared resources and how to manage them, maybe in a new way, in a fun way. Maybe you want to invest in something, but certainly it's that conversation. Also with business partners, you might have to speak to them about how to manage the money a little bit better, how to invest a little bit better, as this card comes out, because this is the card of being overburdened. Scorpio, if you're overburdened by financial issues or somebody not pulling their weight financially, this is a bunch of shit that you need to just drop out of your hands and address once and for all. You don't want people draining your finances as well as draining your energy, as we spoke about in January. I mean, no more drainers. Put the plug in it, baby. And don't let that energy drain down the plug hole. No more drainers. What else? Yeah, but Venus in the 8th house there towards the end of April might also bring a great sense of intimacy, great sense of passion and depth to existing relationships. Or for those of you who are finding new love in April, you might find it with somebody who just touches that deep and profound part of you that Scorpio particularly enjoys. I'll let you fill in the blanks there. And Page of Pentacles hopped out. April 29th, there's a full moon in your 1st house. And that's just going to be gorgeous, a Scorpio moon, where you will feel more in touch with your emotions, more comfortable and comforted in the things that you do in your own life when no bloody other person is interfering. But you will certainly feel very empowered. And what is a Scorpio when they're empowered? They are intense, they are clear in their mind, clear in their thoughts, and clear in their objectives. And they will not stand for any bullshit. And that will be you at the end of the month in your full power, and people will know it. They're going to fear the Scorpio. They're going to fear you. And this is the 6 of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Star. You see a bunch of cards came out there. I don't know if I mentioned that. You're probably saying, where is she pulling these cards from? They actually fell on the table while I was waffling on there. The Queen of Wands, the King of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and one extra card, which is the 2 of Pentacles. So what are the other really big things that I want to talk to you about to Scorpio? Your ruler Pluto and Saturn are going retrograde in your 3rd house of communications. They're in there with Mars, who he doesn't just like playing with fire. You could really call him an arsonist. He's a pyromaniac. He just sees something and he wants to set it on fire. So what is he going to set on fire for you, Scorpio? He is going to make you bring up the fears that you have around some of the things we spoke about last month, communicating your truth. you are going to have a lot of stuff. As we leave March, your mind will be very active with quite negative, in some ways, negative thoughts, thoughts that run on a loop, ideas that you can't quite get them out of your head, suspicions and doubts about other people that are just driving you frickin' crazy. And it's all here. It's all, oh my God, get this out of my head. If I sleep, I'm dreaming of it. If I wake, I can't stop thinking about it. Obsessive thoughts. I know they always say Scorpio has a tendency to be obsessed with things, but this is a little bit different, because sometimes Scorpio, you can become obsessed with things outside that you want. You want to attract a person or a thing, so you zoom in and you're like, come to me, I'll stop at nothing until you're here. But this is slightly different. This is your obsessions with the thoughts that are going round and round in your mind. And it's that moment where you find in April that it will come to a kind of a head, where at some point you'll have to say, enough, enough, enough. I'm not going to let these thoughts torment me. I'm not going to let my mind torment me. I'm not going to hold my tongue anymore. People always say, oh, Scorpio has a sting in their tail. They'll say it as it is. People say that, but in my experience, I think a lot of Scorpios tend to hold. They hold, don't say it yet, don't say it, and then strike while the iron's hot. But it seems that there's a situation in your life that you're holding, and there's not that release. You're desperate to say something, to speak your mind, to go, but you have to hold. And in April, the pressure cooker will just, and you'll say it. You'll have had enough of the bullshit. It will be one big moment where you tell people where they need to go, where you release the heaviness in your mind, you know. And if you find in your life that, which is quite strange for Scorpio to experience, that somebody might be bullying you or having sneaky words or sly words in some way, and you're waiting for the right time to get them back. But the time doesn't seem to come, because they always seem to come out smelling of roses, where you're left standing in them and you're going, you just wait. Well, the news that you'll be happy to hear is that in April, that energy is coming, where you finally get to release exactly what you were thinking about those shitheads. And the other thing I want to say, once you release that, there's other stuff that might just kind of come out too once you're releasing the stuff in the pressure cooker. And that is very negative thoughts about yourself, putting yourself down. Can't happen, has to go. Don't be putting yourself down. And thoughts about, you know, why try? Why should I put effort into anything? Because they're all just unappreciative assholes. Why try? This kind of why try, or we all die in the end, so why do I need to bother? This is not your type of energy, Scorpio. And April is going to help you release some of that extreme negative thinking. Now, at this point, Scorpio, what I usually do is turn the camera down so we can look at the cards. But because of the wonderful Mercury retrograde, my camera isn't working properly. The tripod stand that it's on is now, what do you call it? A tripod is because it's got 3 legs. It's only got 2 legs now, so what's that? A dual pod? I don't know. I'm not good at stuff like that. How the hell do I know what it is? On top of all of that, you might find my energy's a little bit lower in this reading, because trying to communicate something to you with a flu isn't easy. I promise I won't sneeze in your direction if it happens. I do guarantee that. So, Mercury retrograde, making my life a misery and busting my ass. But if you can bear with me, Scorpio, we'll read the cards up here. The first card, stuff going round and round and round in your mind, having plans, having strategies to get in there and fix something. If it's in a relationship, you may look at your partner and go, I have you figured out. You're behaving badly. I have you figured out. But I just need to come up with a good plan to manage you better. Because with this card in a relationship, there might be a little bit of a distance while you stand back and go, let me have a good look at you. I know how to fix this. And you're coming up with plans, And beside it is the deep wisdom that you're leaving March. See, although it's not the traditional meaning of this card, this is, for me, is very 12th house. Always appears when I'm talking to somebody about 12th house issues. This is deep introspection, going in and finding your own truth, having quiet moments like you've been doing at the end of March, Scorpio, and finding your own inner light. And it's your inner light that shines upon a scheme or a plan. So to interpret that in one way, you've come up with a new plan on how to manage somebody or something. You're going, I have the shape of you now. I have you figured out. You just wait, you know. And also maybe sometimes with difficult people, you know that you have to tiptoe around them and tiptoe around certain situations. But you have found a new way to do that. See, he's holding up his lantern. A new truth has come to guide you on how to make a better plan. In your solitude, you found a new way to approach this situation. In some ways too, this card means that when you did have that deep retrospective moment where you shut the door and got a little bit quiet for a while and had a time out to think and heal, that the penny dropped on something for you. You looked at schemes, plans that other people might be doing and saying, I never noticed that before. I never noticed they were so scheming. I never noticed that they were plotting and planning something without telling me. And I never noticed that they were quite superficial in some way. I never noticed that all the words that came out of their mouth were very cleverly manipulated to make me feel a certain way, to placate me, to, you know, if I get angry and if I lose my temper, they'll say, oh, but I promise, blah, blah, blah. And now, as we go into April, you're saying, that was just bullshit. They were just telling me that just to shut me up. They were just telling me that to keep me sweet. And there's a moment as we go into April where you're saying, I think this situation, this person, or whoever it is that you identify with this, that you realize that they were stringing me along. Those assholes were making a fool out of me. But, excuse me, you don't make a fool out of Scorpio for very long. And God help them who have been making a fool out of you, Scorpio. And it's not so much, I don't even know, in some instances, yes, they might have been scamming you, making a fool out of you, feeding you bullshit. But in another instance, it's like they're even fooling themselves. They're so convincing that even they believe their own bullshit, and you're holding the light up going, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. Your plans are beneath me, you know? And if there are sly words, heavy words, or somebody trying to scheme against you or against a project or against somebody or something that you care about, there's no pulling the lamb's wool over your eyes in April, Scorpio. The Eight of Pentacles, you're focusing very hard on something. I don't know, is it your relationship or your work life? But you have your head down, you're focused, you want to master something. You don't want any outside interruptions for some reason. And this guy is also taking a raw material and turning it into something of value. For those of you who have creative projects, you might literally be putting extra focus in doing something better, learning more, educating yourself more. You see, all this energy in your mind has to be channeled somewhere. So in April, yes, sure, you'll have all that big explosion, but there will be that moment where you'll realize, I have to channel some of this high activity in my brain somewhere. So you may start to focus deeply on a creative project, on a relationship, or on your work, or building your career in some way, perhaps, or certainly putting all your mind into schemes that can help you make more money. Yeah, definitely. Trade and business. Third house is trade, business, travel too. Some of you could be brushing up your skills to open a new business. And if you are, best of luck with that. I wish you every success with it. And I hope the plans that you're making aren't silly plans, because you won't be able to tolerate bad planning anymore. Bad planning. You need better management on your planning schemes. But, excuse me, beside it is this Venus in Aries style card where somebody is announcing their love, throwing their cards on the table, literally. They're announcing something big. I say, this is my declaration. I declare that I am now this. And maybe that's what you'll be doing. Or maybe you'll hear of somebody making a big declaration, a big announcement in their lives in April. And it will just be a wonderful period. It will be a very pleasurable moment to celebrate, to be more lighthearted, to have fun around what we would say traditionally here, a marriage, a birth, a celebration of some kind. So, but yet, some of you Scorpios are saying, we've been invited to this wedding. Can we pay for this shit? Yeah, it's far away. We have to book a babysitter too. Yeah, how much is the taxi going to be to there? And we have to stay in a hotel overnight. Oh my God. And they want what for a present? So if there is a celebration, just be careful with your coins. You don't have to be very elaborate with your gift. It's the thought that counts. What was that phrase? I wanted to give you a gift, but I didn't. But I did think of giving you a gift, and don't they say it's the thought that counts? Yeah, so think of giving them a gift, because it's the thought that counts. Here we go, feeling overburdened in April. Overstretched, doing all the work, taking the lion's share of the work. Some people just aren't pulling their weight. There is that energy of you talking with your partner, business partner or spouse, somebody that you are having joint finances with some way, shared resources, maybe with siblings perhaps. Maybe there's a house, a family home or a family asset that needs to be sold, and you're the one doing all the work. You're the one bearing all, you're shouldering it all. And you can't have that anymore. That's not energy you need now in April. We do say with this card though, he's carrying these wands, and it's a burden that he's prepared to carry. So yeah, while you might be prepared to carry it, you just always know that delegation is a good thing too. You don't have to carry it all. It doesn't all have to be on your shoulders, baby. Now beside that, are some of you burdened because you're trying to learn something new, a new skill, a new trade? Again, lots of activity in the mind and the house of study. Are you realizing at some point in April that you need to brush up your skills? That it's not acceptable anymore that you see other people come into your line of work who are less skilled, and they just seem to bypass you for the promotion because they have the right education, or because they're good at bullshitting their way, because they have some degree or some experience doing something, and there's you holding the fort while somebody else just walks past and you're saying, what? Here we go, drop the burden. Stop trying to hold something together on your own and go back and learn a skill. For some of you, if it's an office issue in your work life, if you're the one holding the fort, if you're the one that all people are answerable to, and it feels a bit too much, I think you might have to reconsider what you're doing in April, my love. You might have to go back to basics, be a learner, and start learning something new again. Brush up your skills so that you're not the fool left holding everything and not necessarily receiving the correct amount of money in return for doing that. Okay? It's something that, again, surprises me about you, Scorpio. You are in control. If we really stripped everything back from you, you're in control. You know what you're doing. But you have one weakness. One thing that is your kryptonite is when other people ask you something sweetly, when they say, I'm sorry to have to ask you this, but do you mind doing all my work and carrying all the shit that I'm supposed to be carrying while I just scratch my arse? And you'll say, well, I don't know, but seeing as you asked me so nicely, I might do. And then you say, but I'm only doing it this time. And then this time never seems to have an end date. So put an end date on that shit, baby, if somebody has taken advantage of you, particularly in work or in any part of your life. Because here's the card of moving on. Where are you moving on? 2 swords cards. You're moving on to fresher and greener pastures. Where are you going? What are you doing, Scorpio? You've had enough of, I think, the bullshit with other people. You've had enough of holding your tongue. You've had enough of a lot of confusion. It's just your whole environment seems to have become quite confusing to you, which frustrates you immensely. And you're saying, I have got to get out of this frickin' place. They're just all mad. They're mad. And they're making me mad. And it's like their madness is contagious. I've got to get the hell away. And that's what you'll be really, really strongly considering doing in April. Some of you will actually physically be doing that, making moves in your life, moving house, moving job, moving away from relationships, and moving with this great sense of force that when the idea comes to you, when you want to clean your mind, you see, swords are the mind activity. When your mind is, you'll make this big explosion in April and you'll move swiftly and boldly, moving on with a great sense of purpose. And perhaps some of you are moving away from an air sign who seems to be really annoying you. Air signs are Libra, Aquarius and Gemini, and perhaps they're the ones putting you under pressure, and you'll say, I can't go anywhere. Every time I try to move away from them, they're following me. They just won't leave me alone. They just keep putting me under this pressure. So you move away for a bit and then you move back. You move away and then you move back. This moving back and forth business has got to stop. Either calm the situation down and address it or move away. Okay, my love? But as we start leaving April, look what we have. The Star of Hope. Activity in your 11th house, not quite significant. But by the end of the month, you will have suddenly realized, after all of the mind is cleared, and you look at the world, see, she's naked. She has removed all the baggage from her life. She has removed all her clothes too. But she has removed everything from her life. So she just stands as nature intended her, sky-clad. The only thing she's wearing are the energies that are offered to her by the stars. And she's looking down into the water. And didn't we say last month about the truth serum, the river Styx, carrying that water up or offering the truth serum to people? I think you've done it. And I think you will really finish that up as we leave April. The truth serum, the truth is known. And now that the truth is dealt with as we leave April, you'll feel more hopeful about your future. There's this moment of, I can see a future now. I can see how everything is moving. I don't feel so pressured. I now have the first glimpse of where my desires, hopes and dreams are going, not other people's, mine. I think it's been a while, Scorpio, that you've really considered what it is that you want. You've been kept so active carrying other people's dreams. What's your dream? What's your dream? What's your desire? Where do you see yourself in the future? April is going to see you asking those questions. What do I want? And what do you want? What is this projection into the future? The psychic queen appears, the Queen of Wands, and she is the embodiment of fire. She is the embodiment of somebody who is confident, who is in control of their life. They're adventurous, their spirit is ignited, and they are wearing gold because in some way alchemically they've been transformed into something purer. So all the activity from last month and this month will transform you. You know you have changed. We've spoken about this, but you'll become more in control of that. And I always say, watch her. She's not looking directly at you. It's kind of, I'm not looking at you. I don't want to see your face. I don't want to look at any of you bitches. I'm going to let my cat, who is the psychic part of you, look. Because at the beginning of the month, you remember we said that when you used your deep intuition, you had great insight into the schemes and plans of other people, and you said, oh, really? Is that the bullshit you're pulling on me? And at the end of the month, you're saying, no, I'm going to trust this more. I'm going to trust my deep wisdom more. My wisdom is looking into the future. My psychic connection, my projection of what it is that I want is now going out into the future, and I'm going to use my deep psychic senses to wish. You know, wish magic? I wish. It's a bit like that. And it's in doing that you feel more empowered. You know, some of your hopes and desires and dreams is to be more adventurous, be more bold in your life, do something very daring. Very daring. And I don't just mean getting a big tattoo, which is a good start, but the transformation that you've gone under is tempting you to be bolder. I got to love Scorpio when Scorpio is in its bold zone. Scorpios, when you're bold, you're very, very, very bold. But you're saying, this is what I want for my future. I had forgotten how to be bold and outrageous and just that little bit of a rebel. It's time to get that back. That's my full power. That's where I'm happiest. And how can you be a rebel when somebody is saying, can you carry this burden for me? Can you you're carrying these burdens for a good cause, thank you for being so good in helping me file my nails while you carry the shit. But it's all for a good cause, remember. Keep smiling while you're carrying other people's shit. Oh, Saturn going retrograde is giving you the power to say, no. Like Amy Winehouse. They tried to make me go to rehab, but I said, no. That's your theme tune, But seriously, if you do need to go to rehab, go to rehab. Just to say that. But otherwise, no. It's only your hopes and dreams from now on. Seriously, Scorpio, only yours. Because when you realize that you've been putting so much energy into other people's hopes and dreams out of a sense of compassion, I always say that about you, Scorpio. You do a huge amount of things for other people because you care. Please use some of that energy for your own hopes and dreams. King of Swords sitting beside the Ace of Swords. I love this combination because very quickly, you're a quick learner, Scorpio, from the Ace to the King. Very quick transition. It's a lesson learned in no time at all. And what is the lesson? Swords are air, swords are words, swords are thoughts, swords are ideas, swords are clarifying and creating. putting shape to something, giving something life, giving something form, should I say, not life, giving something form. And when you really focus on your own hopes and desires, you will find that new truth. You'll be handed it. I mean, this is a signal from the gods. This isn't just, I think I'll do this. It's not a random thought. It's a clear path being cut with the sword, like Sleeping Beauty. That's really like who you were. You were sleeping, sleeping, sleeping. And here comes the sword where your finger had been cut, and you fell asleep and you're like, I'm sleeping through my life. I'm sleeping through my life. And then suddenly the prince comes and chops down the thorn bushes and makes his way in. It mightn't actually be a prince, just to clarify that. They may not have an actual royal title, but I'm just telling you that it's not any external person who's your savior. It's the energy that comes in and chops all that shit down and releases the Sleeping Beauty from her curse. From her sleeping curse, And this is how life will be. You will feel released of this curse of being asleep in your life. You've a new truth, you've a new project, and I wish you the best with it if you do go with that. And you'll master it in no time whatsoever. Air energy, but I put that down to the third house issue, which is air energy. And like I said, if some of you are finding difficulties with an air sign, say it. Speak your mind. And don't just speak your mind, but speak your power. This card came out, it's an extra card. All in all, by the time April ends, you're going to feel more balanced. This guy is leaving behind the emotional ups and downs. He's putting his first foot on solid ground and he's balancing. Yep. He's balancing everything in his life. And there'll be a great sense of internal balance. Your mind will feel more balanced and you will be juggling ideas. You'll be juggling how you present yourself also in this new transformed version of you that we spoke about last month. But it is the beginning in April of you getting more control over your hopes, desires, dreams and wishes for the future. Because you want the rewards now. You don't want to sit back asleep, like I said, watching everybody else. Oh, there's another person getting an award. There's another person getting a medal. Congratulations. No. It's time. It's time for you to start balancing your life, your finances particularly, in order to use all the raw materials that you have, including your spirit, including your mind, to create something for you, baby. Scorpio. I hope that made sense to you and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to leave it there before my camera collapses. And if this is the first time watching my videos, please subscribe, like, share, all of those things that every YouTuber says, And come to my Facebook page, She Bear Tarot. And I sometimes add extra content, as I say. It's probably worth it. Probably. And in the meantime, I am going to leave you with all my love, Scorpio, as always, because I do say you are some of my very favorite people, And I will leave you with a big kiss. Mwah. Good luck with April. Enjoy every minute of it. See you next month.